Dear love, my time here has been a real learning experience. This new city is confusing and harsh. I'm having a rough time. Someone I met here hooked me up with this computer job while I get myself back together. I can't wait to see you soon. I miss you. Love, Leo. You wake up in the bedroom of your new apartment after having recently moved to another city. A new job awaits you as a data entry operator, but first let's explore the apartment. This bed, it really isn't that great. But still, you need to use every fiber in your body to resist crawling back into it. The lighting in the apartment is inconsistent and the ventilation isn't great, but at least it's livable. There's also an unusual door next to the window in the bedroom. There's a locked door right here you can't open. When you moved in, you were told it went to the fire escape once upon a time. It seems to be sealed off on the other side. Still, it didn't stop you from trying to turn the handle, even after hearing the story. A fire exit, huh? It most likely just leads directly outside, now that it isn't in use anymore. Not much of a view here. Just a wall of the other building, and the greasy reflected light from the street signs seeping in. There is also a simple bathroom and a kitchen and living room area. It seems the boxes from your move are still unpacked. Boxes of the stuff you brought. You've kept most of it packed while you try and get situated somewhere better. The last person that lived here left his couch behind. You kept it since you really only had enough money remaining to buy a cheap bed with. Well, hopefully it doesn't contain anything weird inside it. An interesting thing to mention, but whatever. Nothing much in here lately, other than a couple of random water bottles. You don't have a stove, so you've been mostly eating out anyways. It seems like it's about time to go to work, so you leave out the front door. Around you is an almost ominous looking hallway. The general structure and the staleness of the materials gives this eerie feeling in your gut. Well, at least the rent is reasonable around here. Since moving in, you haven't really met your neighbors due to your night shift. Most of the handful you've run into have barely acknowledged you're there. Thus, you're not sure if knocking on their door in the middle of the night would be the best time to introduce yourself. Yeah, let's not do that right now. You walk through the hallway, slowly but steadily, going towards the exit. Seems like they're arguing about something, but you can't quite make out what they're saying. The exit is just ahead, so you make your way there. After opening the door, it leads into a staircase, with the way down being blocked by a metal gate. I suppose you'll go up. You reach the bridge connecting to the exit of this apartment complex. You walk forward. So begins a new night, heading towards the job you picked up a while back the same day you arrived in the city. Your official title is Data Conversion Operator, a fancy name for just a warm body that types up all the junk computers still can't read. It's not remotely glamorous, and it's the night shift, but it's been fairly stable and easy. Exactly what you're looking for right now. Though, this new location really is out in the middle of nowhere. After sitting through the subway ride, you arrive at the new location of your data entry job. It really does seem to be in the middle of nowhere. It almost looks like a place where you'd get stabbed. Well, anyway, you open the door leading to the building ahead. Another creepy hallway shows itself in front. You can hear some kind of machinery clattering, and even the water flowing in the pipes. There's also large trash bags and some old electronics scattered in the hallway. Not exactly the prettiest workplace, but it'll do. You reach the door at the end of the hallway, leading to your so-called new office. In the room are some simple drawers, a light on the roof, and a very simple computer setup with a cheap chair and desk as your equipment. Queue ready for processing. Enter login token to begin. You sit down and start working. It seems the computer downloads photos from the main server of the company and displays them with highlighted text that you have to type out. First one being Jessica Richards, 9776 Lafayette Shoal, Rockfield, Wisconsin, 53022. Seems simple enough. Lance Richer, 2985 Shelton RD SE, Tucson, Arizona, 55721. You complete the last ones in the queue and have the computer download more, but an interesting result appears. It almost looks like a video feed. How did this end up here? Well, anyway, you skip it and continue your work. 2 simple letters later, you seem to be shown a letter with text describing chronophobia. Chronophobia is the fear of time, typically experienced as fear of the future or a fear of growing old. It is a type of anxiety disorder characterized by an irrational or persistent fear of the passage of time. People with chronophobia may have a constant sense of urgency, feeling like they need to rush through tasks or make decisions quickly in order to avoid wasting time. They may also experience physical symptoms such as sweating, increased heart rate, and difficulty breathing when confronted with situations that remind them of the passage of time. An interesting letter, but okay. Some letter about a person on vacation in Argentina, one of someone in the Bahamas. A few simple ones again. Lara Shanda, 439 Moro RD, South Lebanon, OH 45065. What a weird print error. This one seems to be on the wrong side. Let's check the other side. R. Williams became the first person known to be killed by a robot when a factory robot's arm struck him in the head. What is this? Why would someone send this as a letter? Well, I guess the workday is over for today. The green light from the computer screen illuminates your way to the door, so you leave. The workday over, you shield your eyes briefly as you glance outside the subway window towards the rising sun. The train is now active and bustling with people, calmly meditating in the morning collective idle state, going to and about their jobs. This city was the first time you rode in a big subway. It was quietly exciting to be in such a large moving contraption with total strangers. You have become accustomed to it now, but still, the thought encroaches. Thinking about getting used to being that isolated room and how you're never going to. You wake up again in the apartment after having slept poorly on your hard bed. Replacing this bed is the top priority as soon as you get some better income. Or at least a mattress topper, so your back doesn't feel so sore from it. You check the door. You feel strangely compelled to keep checking this door. Maybe just to make sure it's truly closed. Really could use a curtain here. Really should get those boxes unpacked at some point. The plan was just to unpack the basics for now, until you quickly moved into something better. That's still the plan, right? Sure. You tried sleeping on the couch once to see if it was more comfortable. It wasn't actually that bad, but something about the texture of the cushion. You could say that they're well traveled. Better than nothing, I suppose. Just a couple pizza boxes in here. It seems to be almost time to go to work, but there's another note on the kitchen counter. You're here to make Okrai a reality through a process called supervised learning. Here's how it works. Okrai will always attempt to process the mail first before you see it, and when it comes across information it can't read or understand, that's where you'll step in and respond to what it wants to have corrected. If Okrai still isn't able to understand what you typed in, or has reason to believe an error was made, it may flag letters for reprocessing by you. We look forward to seeing how Okrai will develop further. With your help, we'll be able to give the postal service a chance to catch up on intense demands, and maybe take a break. So this explains slightly more about how your job works. It seems that the letters that get sent to the computer in your temporary office are ones that the automated Okrai system isn't able to read properly. Things it flags do seem slightly inconsistent though, but I suppose the system is still in development. Well, it seems to be time to go to work, so you leave your apartment. You start walking in the same eerie hallway. Ah, what a cute drawing. Seems like they're arguing yet again. You reach the door, go up the staircase leading into the bridge, and walk to the end yet again. After all, work can't wait. It was about a month ago when you started this odd little job. Very basic work, Just manually type in whatever the automated optical character recognition software failed to scan. Usually, it consists of mail that never got somewhere, because someone had the handwriting skills of a fish. Mail that has traveled from place to place endlessly, unsure where it is even going anymore. No place to call home, not without intervention. They say it's automated, but the system really makes some weird choices about what it once translated sometimes. Not terribly surprising. The company's software situation doesn't appear very modern by any means. You arrive again in the hallway of the weird warehouse in the middle of nowhere. Finally, you reach the door to the office and you open it. You enter your login PIN and start working. Alright. Jane Costa, P.O. Box 2229, Union WV 24983. Our neighbor. What's this? Dear God, please help my dad. He's in the doctor office and is very sick. I don't like him sad. Jay. Aw, hopefully it gets better. Jane Costa, P.O. Box 22... Wait, isn't this the same one from before? I suppose they're popular or something. The shadows they walk, where we walk they stand. Where we stand, they bleed where we bleed. What kind of letter is this? Jane Costa again. Jane Costa, P.O. Box 2229, Union WV 24983. Are those holes in the letter? Jane Costa? Interesting to spell it with a question mark. Jane Costa went missing. What? Please read this, Sarah. Don't throw it away. Whatever they tell you, I need you to know that's not me. Okay. After turning the letter around, there is some concerning writing on it. Can you see it? 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 I guess you type out the address. Alright, next one. Outsider. Orchestra Heights, 600 Novi. Apartment 454, Union WV 24983. Now, wait a second. Isn't that your address? Well, I guess you sent it already. Why choose Jane Costa? To data conversion operator. Is someone trying to contact you? Completely indecipherable. Jane Costa wasn't able to break free. P.O. Box 2229, Union WV 24983. Non habes mori un fantasma fiat. Oh, huh? Is the power having issues? Okay. Address was ready by the system, but the other side. She lived there angry. She died there angry. Who is Jane Costa? I'd like to know that too. Jane Costa, yet again. Another letter with some misprints. Don't tell anyone I sent you this. Please don't tell anyone I sent you this. Hello, how are you doing? Are you okay? I need to know if you're okay. You can just barely make out the address in the middle and type it out. Lara Shonda, 439 Moro RD, South Lebanon, OH 45065. Another big batch of text. Themistocles, the Athenian general who won the Battle of Salamis, was widely rumored to have committed suicide by drinking bull's blood. The early 20th century English classist. Huh? Wait, why did a note appear on your monitor? Is that an I? I suppose you continue typing it. Percy Gardner proposed that the story about him drinking bull's blood may have been based on a misunderstanding of a statue showing Themistocles in a heroic pose, holding a cup as an offering to the gods. Okay, well, I suppose that's good to know. The system really knows to pick out some slightly creepy notes. It seems that was the last one. It's unsure how the note got there, but I suppose you go back to your apartment. No time to worry about that right now. As you do the math, it's becoming clear you're coming up short on rent again. This is already after several late due payments. The job's pay is per item typed up, so you contacted your manager asking for more mail to process. Doing some overtime tomorrow, even in that small room, should be fine. You wake up in your apartment again, though the atmosphere is a bit different. Are those letters? The ventilation is making an eerie noise, and you could hear what sounded like sawing coming from your neighbor. Next to your door is also a letter. Outsider, Orchestra Heights, 600 Novi, Apartment 454, Union WV 24983. Wait, isn't this the letter you mailed to yourself? It's addressed to your apartment in particular. Opening the letter reveals nothing inside other than an odd smell. A smell of that like a mineral or iron, smoke and chalk. Who sent this remains unclear. It's probably best not to hang on to it. This is certainly interesting. It's unsure who is the one that sent this, or why they addressed you as outsider, but maybe it would be best to be careful. There's a sound you always hear as you drift off into sleep. Like something is trying to crawl inside. Still sealed. Somehow you wish it would open. Not that you know what it would really gain you. At best, it would just be a steep drop down. That is likely to be the case. The door definitely seems to have a kind of allure to it. From what you can see, there's no other windows on the other building. Nor are there any landings for someone to stand on outside of the window. In the kitchen is a notice reminding you of being late on rent, but there's also 2 new letters on the kitchen counter. The first one is from the company, saying that your job is important to motivate you to work better. But the second one is more interesting. Notice, any employees discovered deliberately abusing the system for their personal interests will be terminated immediately. This includes the entering of invalid, inaccurate, or fraudulent addresses. If discovered, such acts will result in immediate termination and legal action. We've also had reports of attempted malware. Please report any software tampering to your manager ASAP. It seems that some employees have been using the job as an opportunity to most likely mail certain packages to themselves, essentially stealing them. Malware was also mentioned, which is interesting. Maybe that could explain the certain weird occurrences happening to you. Sitting on this couch sometimes feels strange lately. But you'd still rather sit on it rather than your bed. It seems to be almost time to go to work. But wait, what is that smell? There's an odd smell coming from somewhere over here. You're not sure how it could be anything in the boxes. That is definitely odd. Well, you have to go to work, so you can't worry about that right now. You exit through the front door. Something seems odd about the hallway today. You walk through the hallway and reach the door again. Go up the stairs and go to the bridge. Was the bridge always this dark? You go to the subway station. You've been wondering about work, and where exactly is everyone else? They've been moving everyone around lately. You ended up at this weird warehouse location. As if this is some sort of practical joke, initiation rite, or a mistake. Despite asking about it several times, your manager warmly confirms it's all correct. A temporary solution, while they're relocating the main office, they had to get a bit creative. It's a pity. The old office was rather nice. At any rate, the solitude has been good for going through your thoughts at least. You arrive in the same hallway again. It's time to go to work. You open the door leading to your office. Go up to the computer and start working. Huh? What is that? There is some kind of unknown mass depicted in a picture in the first request from the server. After flipping the page, there then seems to be a massive cave of teeth. Flipping the page once more reveals some kind of massive creature biting into the bone and flesh of something. After flipping the page again, some highlighted text appears. I can feel my skin crawling. My eyelids shiver and fold back. The tendons on my eyes are shearing. I take a moment to recognize the ecstasy, but I'm simultaneously afraid doing so will disrupt its beauty. As my bones snap, I both fear and hope I may never feel this good again. Is this even a letter? Why was this here? Well, I suppose you submit it. Leo still wonders unfulfilled. Why does it know my name? Another big batch of text. Reason's ashes were found among the remains of a chair in which she had sat. Only part of her left foot and her backbone remained, along with her now shrunken skull, which had survived and was found among the ashes. Skulls shrinking are not common in research cases of spontaneous human combustion, SHC, although the claim curiously has become a regular anecdotal feature. What an odd letter to send someone. It didn't seem to even have an address written on it. Are these just random numbers? Do you feel safe? Do I feel safe? I don't know. Go home. More misprinted letters. This doesn't exactly look like a letter. Nothing vast enters our life of mortals without a curse. Not sure what that means, but it seems only specific letters are highlighted in it. No souls without use. Submit. More text again. Thornton Jones, a lawyer in Bangor, Wales, woke up to find that he had his throat slit. Motioning for a paper and pencil, he wrote, "I dreamt that I had done it. I awoke to find it true, and died 80 minutes later." He had done it himself while unconscious. An inquest at the Bangor delivered a verdict of suicide while temporarily insane. That's a bit disturbing. Some normal ones finally. You type out the first one, but then after typing the second one, the screen flickers and cuts to another batch of text. It pains me to write this, but I imagine your death every day for years. I thought if every day I imagined you dying, how it would occur. It would somehow make it hurt less when it finally came. But it didn't. Part of me wishes I had just spent that energy supporting you better. Rest in peace, my love. The other side of the letter has a wedding photo of two people. You begin typing it out, but it seems to be a bit hard to see what you're typing for some reason. The screen suddenly flickers in the middle of it also. Is reality changing? You type it out and submit it. What is this? Some kind of puzzle? If you look closely, you can trace the lines from the beginning to the end, which spells out, let it go. Let what go? Do you feel safe? Is sent from the server again. A cave? People will come for miles to watch you burn. I would hope not. She's been dead for 5 years, Leave us alone. Some drama between people, it seems. A drawing of a king? You flip the page. Edward II of England was rumored to have been murdered after being deposed and imprisoned by his wife Isabella and her lover Roger Mortimer by having a horn pushed into his anus through which a red-hot iron was inserted, burning out his internal organs without marking his body. What kind of story is this? Another video feed is shown on your screen. After flipping the page a few times, the screen distorts and cuts to a new picture of a letter, though it's completely indecipherable. Fuck you for this shit. I'm gonna kill you for what you did. Should you report this somewhere? The next one seems to just be a string of random letters. It seems some kind of force wants you to get this one exactly correct, as when you get a letter in it wrong, your screen flickers and your input is reset. You type it out and submit it, but the power goes out and you're left standing in the now dark temporary office room. Only a minuscule amount of light is peering in from the windows in front of you. You slowly turn around and go back home. Something about this work building feels like a tomb, slowly sinking deep into the earth. Even the electricity is struggling to reach it anymore, it seems. It's bad enough the item queue is throttled, but you didn't even get to finish it today. Realization washes over that your jaw is hurting from gritting your teeth. You try to relax it, while the new projections to make red swim through your brain. You take a deep breath and stare out the window at the rising sun again, while trying to rub the tension out of those hands. Afterward, you write a letter to your lover. Dear love, it's been difficult so far, but I'm making progress. I don't think this current job is for me. I'm going to start looking for a new place to work. I want to come home. Hope to see you soon. Leo. You wake up again in the same apartment. Your neighbor is making noise again, and the smell from the boxes is even stronger than before. You woke up in the middle of your sleep earlier. The sun had already gone down. You were whispering something in your slumber, as if you were having a conversation with someone else in the room. But as your eyes hazily focused, you realized no one was there. There seems to be some kind of noise coming from outside the old fire exit. Still sealed. Light from this window floods the room while you lie in bed. You can still see it with your eyes closed when you're trying to sleep. The same letters again. Hello. As you walk to the living room area, you notice that you have some kind of floaters in your eyes in multiple locations. That might be a problem. Sometimes, when you lie on this couch, you can hear some sort of muffled talking. Presumably from your neighbors below. But when you try putting your head to the ground itself, it goes away. The smell is still coming from over here somewhere. At least you think it's from over here. You decide not to linger in the horrible smelling apartment any longer and go to work. You exit into the hallway, but something is different. You begin to hear the heavy breathing of some kind of creature or person that starts to close in on your direction. The lights flicker as the invisible monster passes by. You exit into the staircase and quickly go to the bridge, all while the creature is still coming after you. You go to work. Your manager emailed you earlier, apologizing for the technical issues. You've recompensated slightly for your missed queue, but it still wasn't as much as you would have made had you just done a regular day. Apparently, the issue has been solved and shouldn't happen again. You'll be moving into a new location within the next week or so anyways, they say. The time frame keeps changing. Really though, why don't they just have us do this remotely from home? It's getting ridiculous, so you reach out to an old co-worker that moved on to a different data entry job to see if they're hiring. In the meantime, just try and get through this mess and pay the rent. You arrive in the hallway, but it seems to have changed. Many of the objects and doors are missing. The lights are flickering, and the general atmosphere feels wrong. You reach the end and go to the office. Wait, is that a security camera? Was this always here? I suppose you start working. Seems to be the same letter as before, being ping-ponged between two parties. This time, someone wrote stop on it. Seems normal, I suppose. But wait, is your vision zooming in? It seems that your vision is gradually zooming in and out during this work session today. The computer also seems to have started to show pictures unrelated to the postcards as you flip the pages occasionally. A letter to Jane Costa, again. Is that a building? You flip the page, and again. Wait, that's your office. On the screen is written a word. Bind. Is it worth the cost? Another batch of text. Only specific parts of it seem to be highlighted though. While trying to bring the reactor online, a rod was pulled further out than intended. The reactor instantly went critical, which as a result, flash boiled the water surrounding it. The force of the expanding steam lifted the entire reactor into air. While airborne, the radioactive steam escaped, spraying the entire room. They were buried in lead coffins. A few normal letters follow afterward. But then, the same text as from once before shows. Nothing vast without a curse. It's unsure what this means, but the highlighted letters only spell gibberish. Dear God, please, 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 make Dad feel better. I don't like Mom sad. J. This seems to be a letter from the same kid whose dad is currently in the hospital, most likely in critical condition. After going through a few normal letters, the computer prints what's seemingly a large string of random letters, but after looking at it closer, there seem to be readable words in between the nonsense. They spell out, who is watching whom? I wonder what that means. The next letter also has something different. Dead, 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 next week, dead, 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 next week, next week. It's unsure if this is a threat or a premonition, but I suppose you submit it. Jane Costa again. It seems that the errors are increasing even more. Now the letter is upside down. Call of the Void. Is there an entity trying to reach you through these notes? You type out another string of random letters and numbers and submit it, but the power goes out again. Thankfully, there seems to be a backup power source connected to the computer that will give you 5 more minutes of time to process the letters. Make sure you get them done in time. Spasms sometimes occur in response to environmental stimuli, such as voluntary or passive movements and unexpected auditory stimulation. Changes in emotion or stress can also be regular contributors. Due to its rarity, studying this condition in great detail has proven to be challenging. A common complaint among patients is the loss of control over their own bodies, describing they feel they are in a constant battle to prevent external influences from affecting them. After submitting it, something rumbles outside the office. Even the environment seems to be changing. You can't hold on forever. Hold on to what? Ursula Moylet, 600 Middle ST, Detroit MI 48226. The same letter repeats again, but this time the highlighted text is different. Collect immediately. 600 Middle ST, Detroit MI 48226. It repeats again. 600 Middle ST, Detroit MI 48226. Let it rot. You type a normal letter, and then see one with what seems to be several eyes on the letter. I can't wait to see you soon. With 1 minute and 50 seconds remaining of the backup power, you complete your workday. Your vision worsens even more, the power turns back on, and you go back to your apartment. This isn't going to work. You stew in your thoughts with a glazed, broken stare out the window. Maybe if you skip eating for the rest of the week, you could be able to still make late rent. You've been thinking a lot about going back home lately. You could try and just make it all pan out. living there for the rest of your life. Probably never seeing anything new. You probably could even afford a house in your lifetime if you moved back. Is it better to put up with the problems one already knows well, or to venture out and constantly stumble into new ones? You feel a tinge in the back of your skull, a fear that this has been your one and only shot, that you wouldn't be strong enough to make another effort to move. But you shove a thought deep inside and swallow it, while seeing if you can still make this work. You wake up again, unsurprisingly, in your apartment. The environment seems even more twisted now. Your vision has several anomalies. The lights flicker in the apartment. The horrible smell from the boxes is still there, and you hear different noises of unknown origin. It happened again. Except this time, you weren't talking in your sleep. You woke up and your hands were doing something. It's hard to explain, but they were in a strange configuration. Positioned not like anything you've ever done yourself before. Like a weird prayer. Wait a second, is that a security camera in your bedroom? Was that always there? And behind the window is a vision of your office. Light from this window floods the room while you lie in bed. And all you ever want is for it to go away. There's something off about the fire exit again. Why won't it open? You go to the living room and walk closer to the horrendous smell coming from the boxes. It's the kind of smell that sticks in your brain. Long after you've left, it somehow replicates itself in your consciousness. You walk to the couch. Maybe it's just your nerves lately, making sensation feel a bit off. But this couch feels to the touch like it's undulating. It seems to be time to go to work again, so you exit through your door. You reach the hallway, and the entire hallway seems to be filled with some kind of mist or smoke. And additionally, you hear a kind of irritating knocking sound that seems to be coming from all directions, but also from none. You slowly walk, and walk, and walk, and walk, until you reach the staircase. It seems your senses aren't quite in the correct place. The lighting in the stairs is absurdly wrong, but I suppose you don't have time to worry about that right now. Rent has to get paid somehow, after all. You go to the bridge and patiently walk to the exit. You emailed earlier asking about being able to work from home, especially after the power issues. The manager responded, saying that the operating system the software runs on is unique to the company. Something that was custom made a long time ago, and only few people know how to really maintain it. But it still works well. They didn't say it directly, but you got the impression they like it this way, so people can't fool around on the internet or play solitaire when they should be working. The cell phone signal in all the buildings you've been in is surprisingly bad too. The manager calmly assures you though that the issue has been addressed, and not to worry. Whatever, you just need to keep rent paid while you find something better. Especially as this job has been wrecking your hands lately. part of you moved to the new city to meet new people and experience new things. Not to be stuck inside this little pitiful room in some factory alone and taking orders from a box. Again, you arrive in the hallway. Your senses are still overwhelmed and distorted, and the hallway, yet again, looks different. You begin walking forward. You reach the end and open the door. Your cursed workstation exists in front, so you sit your physical matter down on the chair and begin working. You go through more boring letters, some with more weird errors, but then the last one at the end of the queue seems to be a video. The person in the video reaches the end, and on the wall is another letter. I'm getting close to hell now. Submit. Is that your room? I suppose there is no text there, so you submit it. The queue resets, and you send in another letter. But the one right after it seems to have the letters moving. Something's definitely becoming wrong. The power cuts out, and you yet again only have just slightly over 5 minutes to complete the rest of the letters in the queue. You feel something in your body, almost a primal fear, that if you do not complete these, something will happen. Finally fucking made it. Stacy Wallace, 52924 Hafer Road, Carterville, IL 62918. Again, this same person. Jane Costa, P.O. Box 2229, Union WV 24983. It's unsure who this person is yet, or why there are so many letters addressed to them, but I suppose you should keep them in mind. Hello from Yermo. This place took Kitsch hostage and then fell in love with it, and their Bonnie and Clyde common sense. The lights begin flashing even more, and the screen on the computer distorts. What's more, the timer on the right side is now completely gone, almost as if you're not even in the same plane of existence anymore. I suppose you'll just have to keep typing. Huh, what an interesting cover for a postcard. They are believed to absorb the sins of the individual, then absorbing the person's soul. Sin eaters, as a consequence, carry the sins of all people whose sins they have consumed. Abhorred by villagers as a thing unclean, the sin eater cuts off from all social intercourse and lives in a remote place alone. Those who chanced to meet a sin eater avoided them as they would a leper. Is this a message? This doesn't seem like a letter, as many of the other ones have. After flipping the image in the next request a few times, it reveals more text. The future is burning. Your future? I suppose you submit it. Another camera feed. And wait, this one's in your office. After flipping it, you see something that shouldn't be possible. A direct photo from behind you, and then a photo from the hallway. You submit the request. Now the system seems to be inputting wrong text by default in your prompts. As you continue going through the requests, the screen distorts even more. The ground starts shaking, and you begin seeing visions of some kind of creature moving around you, almost as if there was someone or something in here with you. Then suddenly, the shaking stops, and the electricity shuts off. Afterward, you're suddenly transported back to your apartment, though you don't exactly have any recollection of getting back here. It's strange. You don't have any memory of getting home last night. Your vision is still as messed up as it was before, but more importantly, there seem to have been some changes to your apartment. Sin Eater is written on your wall with spray paint. Who did this? You slowly walk around your apartment while mentally preparing yourself for work again. I want it to go away. Last night, you woke up at one point to find yourself standing in front of this door. There are scratch marks on it. Your fingers are raw to the nerves. In spite of being so exhausted, you don't remember actually attempting to sleep anymore. It's like part of you just turned off last night. And before you knew it, you were back here. It's difficult to even approach these boxes now, but you're beginning to enjoy the smell. What if you just crawled inside this couch and never worried about anything else ever again? Nothing. You walk out of your apartment door into the cursed hallway yet again. You walk forward only a few steps, and all of the lights shut off, leaving you to take out a flashlight you had hidden in your pocket for this kind of occasion. You see more notes on the ground, leading to what was the previously pitch black part of the hallway. I suppose you'll go there now, since you have a light source. At the end of it is a wall with what looks like over 100 post-it notes, with a kind of eye drawn on each of them. You slowly turn around and start walking forward in the hallway. The path at the end is eerily quiet and dark at the same time, a stark difference to your experience on the previous few days. You reach the door and go up the staircase into the final path before your commute to work. Finally, some good news arrives. You hear back from your old co-worker, inviting you to join them in their new data entry gig. This one is mostly for typing up scripts and closed captioning for television and videos. Television? It sounds sort of fanciful, certainly more interesting than random postcards. You agree to it and are quickly scheduled for an interview tomorrow. They're swamped, so you might even be able to start the day after it all goes well. It doesn't feel fast enough. You reach the hallway once again, with the door to the office awaiting you in the distance. You start walking, slowly towards the end of the hallway. You open the door and go sit in the chair. Or I suppose not. I guess you'll just have to stand. You start typing up the same exact letters you have been repeatedly asked to do. This time, with your bloody fingers tainting the keys on the keyboard in your filth. I know it's hard, but please, hang in there. I know you can make it. You can try, but will it be enough? I'm cold. I love it here. But I'm cold. And they're bad Wi-Fi, so I'm behind on my K-drama and it's fucking gorgeous. The screen distorts yet again, but you still complete writing the letter. Stop, or I will find you. A different kind of image is shown in front. It seems like a few lines of text are hidden in the image, showing only bits of it at a time. Flickers of dark. Something lurking. Standing near. You submit the message. Another letter addressed to you, huh? Seems to be another cursed message. Making even one mistake activates something in your body, erasing the entire thing you have written to that point. Well, anyway, you still complete it and submit it. That's odd. Your existence is removed from the computer screen, and you're suddenly free to look around. You turn around, and the computer screen is gone. You tilt your gaze and turn around yet again. Now only the desk remains. You tilt your gaze, and now even the table is gone. You turn around twice more, and behind you a new pathway appears. Carefully walk through, and in front of you is an impossible environment. There seems to be a massive environment of what looks like many different rooms that look almost exactly the same as your apartment, just with each being slightly off in some way. You make it to the end of the path and find yourself in front of some kind of pillar with several doors leading inside it. With nowhere else to go, you walk inside. There doesn't seem to be anything inside. Odd. I guess you open the door again, but then the entire floor collapses under you, dropping you to a floor below. With your legs now damaged, you slowly start dragging yourself forward to the path ahead. And then the lights turn off. A flickering red light awaits you in the distance, the computer. Your work must still continue even in this dimension, so you start typing. Tonight, I watch the light leave their eyes. The timer is still ticking down, awaiting you to submit the rest of the tickets. You continue typing them out, and everything starts to distort even more. The monitor even seems to start breathing, as if it was a living entity. My life is now halfway over, and you're still the only person I can never forgive. I won't be free until you're gone. I cannot wait to wipe your obituary. I will dump your ashes in a porta potty. Gleda Papas was a loser. 5483 Millwood, Benton, California, 93512. I'm here in the city, but I miss more than anything seeing the stars at night. Look, despite being a total piece of shit, he still got a beautiful funeral. But it was infuriating to see friends and family gather and smiling to remember someone who had caused that much trouble. Every story swapped flew in the face of the havoc he'd wreaked and the people he'd hurt. A hand comes out from behind the monitor, gripping it and waiting for you to do something it doesn't like. You continue typing out the letters. They continue to drift in and out of consciousness, before finally collapsing again, finally completed the act by stabbing the participant in the throat, after which he hung the body on a meat hook. The corpse was dismembered and eaten over the next 10 months, with the body parts stored in the freezer under pizza boxes. He consumed up to 20 kilograms of flesh. Another hand creeps out from behind the monitor. My mind feels stuck in a machine. Sin Eater. As time goes on, even more hands come out from behind the monitor, eagerly awaiting for the timer to completely run out. Occasionally, larvae will enter ocular structures even with treatment. Damage to the central nervous system may be permanent, and result in a variety of negative outcomes depending on the location of the infection. The patient may suffer chronic pain as a result. I know who you are. At the last letter, the rumbling around you suddenly halts, and the lights turn off. Your consciousness is transported back into your office, away from the unnatural environment, but then something starts heating up.